Almost every single video on the internet about ball positioning has been made by right-handed golfers. And if you're a lefty watching that, it can land you in some trouble. Hey everyone, I'm Sohail, a born lefty, here to help you get better as a left-handed golfer. And in this video, I'm going to give you 3 simple tips you can follow to make sure that you have the perfect ball position for any club in your bag. Let me show you. Now I know I'm wearing flip-flops, but trust me, it works. Doesn't matter what you're wearing. Yo, hey, look, I've got a fan. My #1 fan. Signature, I'll throw my club. You can have a lefty club. Before we get into the ball, positioning, clubs, etc., there are 3 things to keep in mind. One is your lead foot is the right foot. Your trail foot is your left foot. This is where a majority of the tutorials online, you've got to switch it around, and already a difficult task for most people. Lefties are generally quite slow anyway. So in this video, my lead foot is my right foot, and it should be yours as well. And my trail foot is my left foot. And just make sure when I'm talking about my lead and my trail, that it's the same for you. So remember, lead and trail. The next thing to know is I work in percentages. And what I mean by that is when I say that your entire width of how far wide your stance is 100%, then what I will mean is when I say 50 with your lead and 50 with your trail, I mean go 50% with your lead and go 50% with your trail to your normal stance. Don't try and make the stance longer than it is normally. Just work with your normal stance width and just adapt the percentages that I'll tell you in this video. They're the 2 things to keep in mind. Let's talk about ball positioning for left-handed golfers, which by the way, is the same for righties. I know that, but I'm sure a lefty's gonna enjoy watching this anyway. Now here's a simple setup you can start out with when you're trying to figure out where the ball position should be for different types of club. A lot of people on the internet, right? Every single one of them has like 6 or 7 clubs laid out in front of you, and that can get really confusing. So for this drill, we're going to use 3 irons. A shortish iron, a longish iron, and your driver. Let's start there because it's the simplest way you can figure out what your ball positions should be. And you can follow along because it's as simple as getting your short iron, lining it up right in the middle of your balancing point, which means that's where center is for you. Getting a long iron, putting it at the end of the toe of your first club, and then doing the same with your driver, putting it at the end of the toe of your long iron. And that will give you your 3 ball positions you can start out with. This is your starter kit. If you're starting out, if you're a lefty and you're trying to figure out what your ball position should be, follow these steps. And what's gonna happen naturally is when you take your first stance, which is a 50-50, you're going to take 50 on your lead, 50 on your trail, and what you'll realize is that the ball positions are perfect for the different lengths that we've set out right in front of us. Now remember, you're not going to get this out on the real golf course, so this is something you can do when you're practicing. You can even do this at home. Set the 3 clubs up. Balance point is always to your shortest club, the one where the ball position is in the middle. Take your lead foot 50% forward, take your trail foot 50% backwards, and 90 out of 100 times you'll end up in the perfect position. Now let's try and do the same drill top down because it's important for lefties to see it from their point of view. So the setup is still the same. You can still see my short, long, and my driver, or my short iron, long iron, and my driver. The balancing point is always still the short iron in the middle. And for this drill, take 50% with your lead foot and 50% with your trail foot, and what you'll see is that the ball positions are perfect for every single one of these clubs. That's smack bang in the middle, and the driver, if you draw a line, is going to end up towards the heel of my lead foot. So this is drill number 1. It's very simple, you can do it anywhere. It's to figure out what the ball position should be. You can start off by doing it with 3 balls, and it goes as simple as find your middle spot, lead foot 50% forward, trail foot 50% backwards, and that's what your ball position should be for your short irons, long irons, drivers. Now onto the next drill where you don't have this easy setup. Once you've graduated from the practice drill, let's take it step by step, club at a time, starting with your short irons. What should you do for your short irons? Well, if you'd follow the drill and you're in a real situation where there are no lines helping you to align, nothing there to figure out where the ball position should be, what I'd do is walk up to the ball, always walk up to the ball, find the middle ground, and because it's your short irons, it's a 50-50 split. So take your lead foot 50% forward and take your trail foot 50% back. And what this does, it builds a memory, it builds a routine so that you can follow it for every club in your bag, and it probably helps you do other things better in your round as well. So to give you an example, I don't just use this routine, I also do my alignment routine before I get to the ball as well. So in this case, I'm going to align, but we're focusing on the ball position. So I'm going to find the middle ground. I'm going to take 50 with my lead, 50 with my trail, and that is the position for my short irons. Now, if you draw a line, try and draw a line here. I'll do it in edit. That should be pretty much center of center for me. The easiest club in the bag to do it with, short irons. Let's see what happens when I take it up to the long irons. So now you've done the drill, you've done the short irons, you graduate to the long irons, and if you try and follow the same steps that we have, which is centering the ball in the middle and doing 50 and 50, you're going to end up in the wrong position for the ball with your long iron. So when it gets to a long iron, that percentage goes to 60-40. So what do I mean by that? Well, here's my long iron. I'll start off by balancing the ball right in the middle. I'm going to take my lead foot 40 and my trail foot 60. And if I do that correctly, that ball will be slightly forward than where the low point of the long iron will be, which is not in the middle, it's slightly forward. I've got a driver in my hand, but you know the drill. The club has changed, but the process never changes. Always remember the process. So what is the process? Well, the driver, you're going to be a little further back, but always start off by balancing in the middle. And the percentage split changes. The first percentage for the short irons was 50-50. Long iron was 40-60. The driver is going to be 20-80. So it's 20-80. Let me show that to you again. Balance in the middle, 20-80. Now if you draw a line, it should be roughly the back of my heel in these lovely Birkenstocks. And that's where you want to end up. It sounds so simple, yet it's one of the most important topics that you have to get right. Now, before I finish up, there is one area I haven't spoken about, which is wedge game. And there's a little video I made, which I'm going to insert now, so you can watch what my philosophy is around wedge play and ball positioning for wedge play. But it's very different to when you're hitting full shots and trying to hit greens from the, 100 yards and over. So watch that video, come back to me, and we'll finish off. The only time my advice doesn't apply is when you've got a wedge in your hand. I don't want you to go 50-50, 40-60, 80-20. No. This is the one time that advice doesn't apply. And the reason is because with the wedge, you're trying to maneuver the ball lots of different ways. You might be trying to hit low shots, high shots. And the one piece of advice for wedges that does stay true is starting from the middle. After that, if you're on a low flighted ball, just move a little forward and put that ball to your back toe. If you're going to try and loft it a little bit, move it to the front toe. If you're trying to hit a slightly longer shot, open up the feet a little more, but never go the same width as your irons or your drivers. So keep that in mind when you've got wedges in your hand. So there you have it, lefties. That is your simple starter kit for what the ball position should be, what your process should be to achieving the perfect ball position every single time. And it's simple as that, guys. If you follow the process, if you do the practice drill, you will end up in a better place than you are. And that is what this channel is about. So if it turns out I've helped one of you, one lefty out there, my job has been done. That's all from me. I'll see you in the next one.